In a small, cozy cafe, surrounded by the soft hum of chatter and the occasional clinking of coffee cups, you sit quietly with your thoughts. Your friends around the table laugh and share stories, but your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes. Raised in a culture where women are often expected to be the emotional backbone of families and social circles, you've learned to prioritize others' needs over your own, often at the expense of your emotional well-being. This morning, a close friend asked you about your feelings on a recent breakup. Instead of expressing your pain, you shifted the focus to her problems, dismissing your own. This pattern isn't new. It's the armor you've worn since childhood, reinforced by a society that celebrates women as nurturers and condemns vulnerability as a weakness. From early on, you were taught to smooth over conflicts and maintain harmony, even if it meant silencing your struggles. In your career, where assertiveness might be misinterpreted as aggression, you've perfected the art of neutrality. Your emotional labor goes unrecognized, yet it drains you, leaving little room for your own emotional needs. Over the years, this relentless self-sacrifice has taken its toll. At gatherings, you play the role of the confidant and caretaker, yet you feel increasingly disconnected from the very people you help. Friends describe you as strong and selfless, not seeing the isolation that grows behind your composed exterior. Your story echoes the myth of Cassandra, a figure steeped in the tragedy of foresight without the power of persuasion. In Greek mythology, Cassandra was granted the gift of prophecy by Apollo, the god of truth and light. This gift, however, came with a devastating condition. Though she would always speak the truth, she would never be believed. After she spurned Apollo's affections, he cursed her, making her insights into the future a source of endless frustration and sorrow. As a result, Cassandra stood witness to impending calamities, her warnings dismissed as the ravings of madness. Her accurate predictions of the fall of Troy, including the deception of the Trojan horse, were ignored by her fellow Trojans, leading to their ultimate doom. This isolation compounded her despair, knowing that her voice, no matter how earnest, would never sway those around her. Similarly, your life mirrors Cassandra's in poignant ways. With a deep understanding of others' emotions, you often perceive underlying tensions and potential heartaches long before they manifest. Yet when you attempt to communicate these forewarnings, they are frequently overlooked or undervalued. This recurrent dismissal can evoke a profound sense of invisibility, as if your emotional acuity renders you more specter than substance in the eyes of others. This pattern of being unheeded not only strains your personal relationships, but also impacts your self-esteem and mental health. The constant cycle of concern and disregard can lead you to question your own perceptions or to withdraw into an emotional shell, where it feels safer to keep your insights and feelings to yourself rather than face the pain of being ignored. In your professional environment, this dynamic may play out in meetings and projects, where your intuitive warnings or suggestions go unacknowledged until the situation unfolds as you had feared. Over time, this can result in a reluctance to share your thoughts, reinforcing a state of emotional unavailability as a defense mechanism against the repeated invalidation of your experiences and insights. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking the cycle. By understanding the myth of Cassandra and seeing its parallels in your life, you can begin to reclaim your voice. It involves embracing your capacity for emotional depth, advocating for your perspective, and gradually fostering environments where your insights are not only heard, but valued. This shift may require finding new spaces and relationships that offer reciprocity and respect for your emotional contributions, helping to restore your visibility and influence. Expanding your support network to include those who acknowledge and appreciate your emotional strengths can also be transformative. Whether through personal connections, professional allies, or therapeutic relationships, building a community that sees and supports your true self allows you to step out of the shadows of invisibility and into a more empowered role. By reflecting on Cassandra's tale, you are reminded that while her gift was a curse in her context, your own emotional insights need not condemn you to a similar fate. Instead, they can be a source of strength and connection when shared in the right contexts, with people who understand and value your unique capabilities. In modern pop culture, Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy embodies the challenges of balancing personal trauma and professional responsibility. Her character navigates through a myriad of personal losses: her mother's illness and eventual death, the sudden demise of her husband, and numerous personal and professional betrayals amidst the relentless demands of a surgical career. This narrative arc masterfully illustrates the complex ways in which women navigate emotional labor. Meredith's evolution from a guarded medical intern to a resilient but sometimes emotionally distant surgeon reflects the intricacies of developing and maintaining personal boundaries. Her journey highlights the necessity of safeguarding one's emotional well-being, especially when faced with life's relentless adversities. Meredith's character often finds herself in situations where she must perform complex surgeries just hours after experiencing profound personal losses, exemplifying the high stakes and emotional suppression often expected in professional settings. This dichotomy between her personal traumas and professional responsibilities underscores the dual roles many women feel compelled to balance. Meredith's ability to continue functioning at a high professional level, despite personal turmoil, reflects the societal expectation for women to manage and compartmentalize their emotions effectively. Yet this strength is not without its costs, as it often leads to periods of emotional unavailability where she must shut down emotionally to cope. Reflecting on figures like Meredith Grey and Cassandra can provide insights into your own patterns of emotional unavailability. Their stories show how societal expectations and personal experiences can lead to a protective withdrawal to cope with the overwhelming demands placed on women. This narrative of resilience amidst adversity is not unique to fictional characters but resonates deeply with real-life personalities as well. A parallel can be drawn to the life of Serena Williams, an iconic figure in the world of sports, whose journey embodies similar themes of strength, vulnerability, and emotional labor. Serena, much like Meredith, has faced immense public scrutiny while navigating personal and professional challenges. Her career is punctuated by incredible successes, including 23 Grand Slam singles titles, yet she has also faced significant obstacles, from health issues during and after her pregnancy to the emotional and physical demands of returning to professional tennis post-maternity. Serena's public visibility has meant that her struggles and triumphs have occurred in the global eye, showcasing her resilience and determination. However, it has also exposed her to criticism and unrealistic expectations, similar to the emotional labor that Meredith Grey handles. Serena has openly discussed the pressures of maintaining her championship-level performance while also being a mother, a wife, and a businesswoman. Her ability to manage these roles, often with grace under pressure, highlights the emotional strength and sometimes necessary unavailability that women in high-stakes careers must adopt. Furthermore, Serena has used her platform to advocate for women's rights and equality in sports, challenging the norms that often lead to emotional suppression. Her advocacy work reflects her understanding of the need for change in the way society views women's roles and emotional expressions. By speaking openly about her challenges, Serena inspires a conversation about the emotional labor that women, particularly in the public eye, are expected to manage. Drawing from both Meredith Grey's fictional resilience and Serena Williams' real-life advocacy and achievements, it becomes clear that the journey toward understanding and managing emotional unavailability is both a personal and a collective challenge. These stories encourage a re-evaluation of how emotional labor is distributed and recognized, urging a shift towards more supportive environments that acknowledge and value the emotional well-being of women. This recognition is essential for creating a society where women can express vulnerability without fear of judgment or repercussions, enabling a healthier emotional life for all. Reflecting on these narratives brings us to the foundational work of Dr. Brené Brown, who delves deeper into the concept of vulnerability, providing a scientific and psychological backbone to the discussions of emotional resilience and openness. Her work provides a profound insight into the benefits of embracing vulnerability, which she defines as the courage to be open to both experiences and emotions that we often try to avoid, such as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Her research, which includes extensive interviews and qualitative analysis, posits that vulnerability is a crucial ingredient for meaningful human connections, creative problem-solving, and overall mental health. She argues that by avoiding vulnerability, people miss out on opportunities for joy, belonging, and love. Brown emphasizes that vulnerability is not about winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up when you can't control the outcome. In her seminal TED Talk, The Power of Vulnerability, and her book, Daring Greatly, she discusses how vulnerability is often mistakenly associated with weakness, whereas it actually represents immense emotional strength. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we open up to richer, more authentic interactions and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, another eminent psychologist and neuroscientist whose research complements the themes examined by Dr. Brown. Dr. Barrett is known for her theory of constructed emotions, which challenges the traditional view of emotions as universal and biologically hardwired. Instead, she proposes that emotions are constructed in the moment, by core systems that interact with our body's regulation of the world and our social reality. Dr. Barrett's insights can be particularly enlightening when considering emotional availability and vulnerability. She suggests that our emotions are shaped by our expectations and the context of our environments, meaning that our capacity for emotional expression and processing is not fixed but adaptable. This perspective supports the idea that embracing vulnerability involves understanding how our emotions are constructed and how they can be influenced by changing our environment or our perceptions. According to Dr. Barrett, by becoming more aware of the factors that shape our emotions, we can better manage and express them, leading to healthier emotional interactions. This aligns with Dr. Brown's advocacy for vulnerability, as recognizing the constructiveness of our emotions can empower us to embrace them with less fear of unpredictability or judgment. Together, the work of Dr. Brené Brown and Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett offers a powerful framework for understanding emotional resilience, not as the suppression of vulnerability, but as the embrace of it, with an awareness of how our emotions are shaped by our beliefs and contexts. This holistic view can be incredibly helpful for anyone looking to enhance their emotional intelligence and foster deeper personal and professional relationships. To address emotional unavailability, consider engaging in therapies that focus on self-expression, such as narrative therapy, which encourages storytelling as a form of healing. Practices like mindfulness meditation can also help you reconnect with your feelings, enhancing your emotional presence both with yourself and in your relationships. As you begin your journey towards emotional availability, set small, achievable goals that foster emotional expression and connection. Regularly schedule time for self-reflection, maintain a journal to express your thoughts and feelings, and seek supportive environments where your emotional expressions are validated and encouraged. By learning from the experiences of mythical and contemporary women, understanding the insights from psychological research, and taking proactive steps towards emotional wellness, you can begin to dismantle the barriers that keep you from fully engaging with the world around you. This journey is about embracing your true self, allowing you to forge deeper, more meaningful connections, and to live with authenticity and emotional freedom.